Welcome to the Good Christadelphian Talks Podcast. I'm Chris.
And I'm Levi. We're very excited to start this podcast where we share one Christadelphian talk a week. Christadelphians are so good at lectures, classes, and talks, and we have tons stored online. But if you're anything like us, it can be hard to find a talk you want to listen to or even decide which one to start with.
Then, when you find a talk you want to listen to, it can be frustrating because there's no easy way to listen to a talk. If you watch in the browser, you can use your place if you walk away. You could download the file, but then you need to manage the file and find an easy way to listen to it. So why not have the talks go through a podcast player, which is designed to remember where you left off if you have to stop partway through, and also have a curated list of talks to pick from.
Yeah, I found myself listening to hours and hours of the radio or different podcasts a week, and I wanted to figure out a way to get more beneficial content on my menu and then in my brain. I also realized that if a friend ever sent me a link to a single talk and said, listen to this one, it's great, I always did. So that's what I hope this podcast becomes, a place where people get suggestions for good talks.
Our goal with this podcast is to post a new talk every Monday night or Tuesday morning. Every episode will begin with a short introduction, something like this, providing context to the talk and providing some highlights that jumped out to us while we were listening to them.
We totally want this to be a community thing. We would love to get feedback and suggestions for talks or series of talks from our listeners, so definitely send us talks to goodchristadelphiantalks@gmail.com.
Or reach out to us through social media. We are at Good Christadelphian Talks on Facebook, at Good Christadelphian Talks on Instagram, and at GCT_podcast on Twitter. We want to encourage everyone to talk together about the talks each week. Join the conversation through your preferred social site with your thoughts on the talk, what you liked, what you hadn't thought of, something you want to try, or anything else that jumped out to you while you were listening.
So please subscribe to the podcast on the Apple Podcasts app or on the Google Play Store or any other podcasting service you use. We'll have our first episode up on October 1st. We pray this podcast is a blessing to you and a benefit to your walk.